Okay, today, all we did today was power, and we learned about power earlier. Now, in your textbook, the equation they have for power is, it has power is equal to I delta V. And when I think about equations, a lot of times, I don't put the deltas in, because it makes it easier to remember, just saying like P is equal to IV, but I remember that it's going to be delta V, the potential difference, okay? Anyway, underneath it in the notes, I also say that power is equal to I squared R. Well, how do I get from here to here? How do I do that? Now, if you remember Ohm's law, we learned Ohm's law, and Ohm's law said, and that's the one we're going to be doing over and over again, that V is equal to IR, right? So if I go back to this equation, that P is equal to IV, and I know that V is equal to IR, so if I put V in here, I put IR, then I get P is equal to I squared R. Okay? So power can be IV, power can be equal to I squared R. Okay? Let's do this one more time. Let's go back to our basic equation that we have in our book, that P is equal to IV, but instead of substituting in V, let's use Ohm's law again and rearrange it and say I is equal to V over R. So now I'll say P is, instead of I'm going to put V over R times V, so I get power is also equal to V squared over R. So these are all what power is equivalent to. So I'm showing you this because some people say, oh, there's 3 different equations. You realize that you don't have to memorize 3 different equations. Well, you can just memorize the first one and then use Ohm's law to derive the other ones. How do I know what to do? This is why we write our given, we write what we want to find, okay? So then we'll know which equation to use based on our given and our find. Does that make sense? Okay. So here are, even though this is the one equation in the book, power, again, this one is IV, this one is IR, and this one is V and R. So that's why it's important to write our given and our find. All right, now we're just going to do the first homework problem on power. Okay. So let's just do number 1. So we're going to do E1. So it says 1050 watt heating toaster. So I'm going to write my given. I'm going to write my find. So that's the power because it's measured in watts. 1050 watts is on a household circuit of 120 volts. So V is equal to 120 volts. So remember, one of the things you need to do is you need to know the units for each thing. So let's say you're not sure what something is. You'd say, oh, watts is power, volts is going to be the potential difference. And now it says, what is the resistance? So I want to find R. So now I'm going to look at my power equations here and say which one has P, V, and R. So that's going to be the last one. Okay. So I'm going to say P is equal to V squared over R, and I want to solve for R. So I'm going to rearrange the equation to solve for the unknown in terms of the known. Now, when you do simple algebra in your head, that's how you make a mistake. So if you don't want a mistake, just do in 2 steps. Multiply both sides by R, so RP is equal to V squared. But now I want to solve for R, so I'll divide by P. So R is equal to V squared over P. Now I substitute in my values, 120 volts squared divided by 1050 watts. Now, resistance is supposed to be in ohms. If you want, you can write, remember, you can separate out your units to check your work. Okay? So now when I do this on my calculator, 120, see how there's a squared button? Divided by 1050 equals, and it comes out to be 13.7, Now on your sheet in parentheses, it says 14 because remember, in your book, your answers are always going to be in the correct significant digits. So because this has 2, you round your final answer to 2. And that's it. So the 5 homework problems are super easy. And that's all we're doing. And that's it.